Hey guys, it's Tinker Tailor here today, bringing you another Pokemon build series video. So today we have Alakazam, who is very, very similar to Abra and Kadabra, a psychic type Pokemon that is yellow and brown and has claws and spoons, and that's really all I can tell you what it looks like, because it seriously, how do I even explain what this Pokemon looks like? But it does have that little mustache thing that Kazam does, and it gave me the vibes of like a really old wizard with like a really big bushy facial hair. And so I ended up, doing a wizard's tower. Some evil, well, maybe not evil, maybe just a loner type wizard who's kind of slightly crazy, and just likes to hang out in his home and potter around and do old man wizard things, and I love it. I think it's fantastic. Maybe he did go to the wizard school that we built yesterday, but maybe he didn't. Maybe he taught himself. Maybe he was one of the original people to found magic. I don't even know if you can found it. I don't know. Whatever. Look, you can make him whatever you want, but I had a lot of fun with it. I also imagine that this is the sort of wizard who kind of like, he's on one level of the tower and he turns around to grab like a book off the bookshelf, but the bookshelf is downstairs. And so when he turns, he's at that level grabbing the bookcase, the book from the bookshelf. But when he turns back, he's, back in the kitchen. So he kind of just doesn't even think about it. He's just kind of like, oh, well, I need to go to the bookcase. So he does, but it's like, all he does is turn around. He doesn't, like, he just disappears and then reappears. So if you're ever there, he's just going to be, disappearing between levels and whatnot. And he doesn't even realize that he's like, that's magic. He kind of just does as he just exists. And doesn't really realize it. So, I don't know, I thought that's sort of the vibe of the person who lives here, and I kind of love it. I think it's a fun, interesting, unique little character who lives here. I can also imagine there being an Alakazam Pokemon just sleeping in the roof for some reason. I don't know, that's just the vibes it gives me. Very much just like in an internal slumber in the roof. I don't know why the roof, but that's just what I feel. Also, for those of you who are wondering, from yesterday's video, I said I was going to bake, and I was going to let you know what I ended up baking. I said I was going to make cinnamon muffins. We had no flour, which I knew because I used the last of the flour. Baking, what did I make last time? The muffins, yeah. That were meant to be they were meant to be cookies. They turned into muffins. I wanted to make cinnamon muffins. I ended up making brownies instead. And now I know I just said I have no flour, but I was talking to one of my roommates and they were like, oh, well, I've got like a brownie mix or a cupcake mix or some sort of mix in the cupboard, so just use that. So I did, and I made them brownies, and they're taking them to work I say right now, but they have taken them to work. And yeah, I also did end up making the mac and cheese last night, and I just had some for, I guess you would say brunch. Yeah, to me brunch isn't an event. It's a lunch meal, breakfast meal thing. Some mornings I just don't feel like eating. It's just I don't know, it's too much. I don't want to do it. I don't want to deal with it. So I just have my little cup of tea, and then I'll have something around brunch time, and then I'll have something maybe snacky in the afternoon, and then I'll have dinner. Sometimes I'll have a proper meal, and I'll have a smaller dinner. Like I'll have like a late lunch. It's still a bit snack sized with the lunch, so that I do eat dinner, but yeah, just not very hungry in the morning, and I feel like I'm not going to get very hungry until maybe like 2 hours before dinner, which is going to be greatly frustrating because I'm going to want to eat, but I can't eat because if I eat, I've my whole life, if I eat 2 hours before dinner, I won't eat dinner. Like if I have a little snack, just like a literally a single biscuit or something like that, just to do me over, I'll be fine. You know, I'll be able to have dinner and whatnot. But if I have a meal or, you know, anything sort of sustainable, that gives me sustenance, that's the word I was looking for, yeah, I will not have dinner. So I have a feeling that's going to happen today, but I could try and have a little bit of an earlier lunch to avoid that. Because I hate feeling hungry. I do. It's not a great feeling. But yeah, I don't want to ruin dinner. And one of my roommates is making a very delicious looking stew. I call it a stew, but they said casserole. I don't really know the difference between these things, but it's slow cooked meat and vegetables in stock, and it looks and smells really, really good, and I know it's going to taste really, really good, and I know we're going to have some really delicious bread with it. Oh my goodness, let me tell you, the bread is probably my favourite part, which I know sounds kind of silly, like, oh, bread's your favourite part of this delicious stew, but yeah, it is. It's so good. I don't know, there's just something about the bread, the specific bread that we get. It's not always the same bread though, so sometimes we'll get different bread, and it's still, yeah, absolutely delicious, and I want more, and I'm happy every time we make it. Like, we make it in the summer. It doesn't even matter if it's hot, we'll still make it because it's so good. So yeah, long story short, very keen for dinner tonight. And also, yeah, I'll probably make the cinnamon muffins next week. I feel like I'm going to be baking regularly on a Wednesday. So yeah, you guys will kind of find out about what I've baked throughout the time. I might not, though. Like, there's every possibility that I might not bake every Wednesday. There might be some times that I miss it, but I don't know, I think it's very fun and relaxing. I was saying that in yesterday's video, that I don't know, there's these little steps that you follow, and you just do the steps, and you get yummy stuff, and it makes my little brain happy, you know, my little pea brain very, very happy. Because sometimes I do just have a pea brain. There's no big thoughts. There's no higher brain power within my brain. Sometimes it's literally just yummy treat good. But you know, that's fine. I don't know. I feel like we don't always have to have higher power thinking. I mean, I sometimes do, and usually it's not when I do these videos. I do these videos in the morning, so yeah, technically it's about to be lunchtime, and I normally do these videos a little bit earlier, and then I'll eat afterwards, but yeah, even now, it's just, my brain doesn't really kick into gear for big brain thinking activities until maybe, like, I don't know, it depends. It's rare. Anyway, I don't know why I'm rambling about this. The build. I actually really thoroughly enjoyed this build. I know the outside doesn't look all that great, and you know what? I'm sort of okay with that. Yes, it's just kind of like a plain old boring old tower, and I could have added a little bit more decoration and whatnot outside, but the inside makes me really happy, you know? I fit in, from the top down, there's a bedroom, a bathroom, a sort of like kitchen dining space, and then a library living entry space. So yeah, I don't know, I had a lot of fun with it. You know, just imagining the old man who lives here puttering around doing old man things. Sometimes I feel like that's my life, that's my destiny, is just to become an old man puttering around doing goodness knows what, just, you know, doing whatever. You know, just in the garden and pruning the I don't know, rose bush or whatever. I don't feel like I'd want a rose bush, but you know, just out there puttering in the garden, doing old man things. It feels like a little bit like my destiny. I don't know. I'm kind of not mad at that. You know, just muttering to myself and wandering around like a lost chicken, but really just off in my own little world. I feel like that's really my my destiny. Yeah, I don't know how else to put it. It's my destiny. That's what I'm meant to do. So yeah, if you ever in the future have, you know, videos of me just wandering around muttering to myself, I'm fine. I'm living my best life. I'm having the time of my life. I think that's, yeah, like I said, my destiny, my dream. That's what I'm gonna end up with. Also the crazy cat lady. Like imagine if a really old puttering man who just wanders around muttering to himself and a crazy cat lady had morphed together. That's me. That's gonna be my future. That's gonna be my destiny, and I'm so keen for it. You know, some people try and avoid their destiny because they're like, I don't want to be like that, but I'm keen for it. I'm so excited. Let's go. Let's get there. I mean, I don't want to skip out on the life bit that's in the middle of it from now until then, but yeah, very keen to just putter around and mutter to the cats and you know, take care of the garden and cook and bake and I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm keen for that. But until then, I will continue building and living my life and having fun. I don't know, it's builds like these where I feel like I just slot really well into them and being able to build them because I kind of understand what the individual who lives here would kind of live like. You know, there are certain items in this game that I absolutely love. I think they are the best items in the game, but they would not work with the person I'm thinking of in my head, you know, who actually lives here. So I'm trying to, you know, do some more builds that make sense to the character rather than just smushing together builds that have items that I like. And every time I do, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, it works out so fantastic in my mind, and I'm so glad that I do these things. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, if you're ever struggling with builds, that's definitely my number one recommendation, is to just pretend to be that person, and what would that person want? What would that person be like? You know, would they want an overgrown garden like the one I'm about to do, or would they want something very neat and organized and, you know, there's lots of plans behind it? You know, would they want lots of plants in their house? Would they want lots of pet stuff? You know, would they want stairs or a ladder? You know, it's just so many things you could do, and you just have to imagine what that person wants. You know, it's all well and good. Like I said, I have a favorite bath in this game, and I'm pretty sure it's the newest one from Business and Hobbies. I don't know my packs or my kits. I don't know any of the DLC, but it's the newest bath, so it must be Business and Hobbies. But it wouldn't work here. It wouldn't make sense. I need like an older clawfoot type bathtub that is a bit old fashioned, and you know, we have that, so I'm gonna use it. Yeah, I don't know, just having that idea of the person in my head really does help. Also, using items that are already in the game, like okay, they're all the items in the game, but like within the world that we're in, using the stuff that's in the world, designed for this world, it really does help. It makes a lot of sense because it matches the rest of the world, and it just fits and looks good. And yeah, I don't know, like I've said before many times in the past, I'm not very confident at landscaping, but I definitely feel like I'm getting more confident in it. Better, that's really subjective, but more confident, absolutely. I definitely feel like my confidence levels of taking risks and whatnot have majorly increased. But definitely let me know down below, like, if you've stuck around for a bit and seen all my different types of landscaping, definitely let me know down below, like, am I getting better? Am I not? I'd love to hear your feedback. Even if you think I'm getting worse and worse, I am okay with that, because I can work with that and I can figure out, you know, what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, what people do and don't like, all the rules of landscaping. So yeah, definitely feel free to leave any tips that you have down below, because I will not be upset or offended if you do not like what I've done. But yeah, if you haven't been around for very long, this is your first video, definitely make sure to subscribe, because I do come out with a new video every single day. That's the word I was looking for, sorry. Brain just glitched out for a second there. Yeah, every single day I do come out with a new video. The only time that's not true is in February, because in February I do this little thing called the A to Z challenge, and in the alphabet, at least the English alphabet, there was only 26 letters. And it's a challenge I also run throughout the year for you guys if you want to get involved. It will be starting in July. I always say June, but it's July. Every year I start it in July. And you basically just get a new letter each week, and you do a build or CAS creation. Yes, it's open to CAS. Even though I have no idea what CAS is or how to use it or the correct terminology. But yeah, you can do a CAS creation or a build, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So definitely keep an eye out for that. But yeah, until then, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys!